Hi Diamond Girls, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about how self-help YouTubers are making you narcissistic. Now, whenever I was younger, I was very vulnerable to advice where people would tell me to have a backbone, be obsessed with yourself, stop being so nice, cut people off, and just have like super strong boundaries. So because I was not used to this, I would often like overcompensate for what I lacked. So what I did was I would go to the extreme because I had such low self-esteem, and I wasn't used to being so far right. So I get it. When you are young, you listen to a lot of these upcoming self-help YouTubers who are telling you this. But the thing is, they are giving this advice from an unhealed place. I know because I had the same thought process whenever I was healed. So what ended up happening to me was when I took this advice when I was in college, I ended up putting up a wall. So I put up an emotional wall because I didn't want people to hurt me the way they once did. So I started cutting people off because I was afraid of confrontation. I didn't make boundaries clear to other people and just assumed that they knew they made me upset. And I was super defensive because I was trying to protect the unhealed child within me. And what ended up happening was I started taking on this masculine, screw everybody, it's me, myself, and I, just super narcissistic personality. So when you are used to just being the nice girl or the nice guy, and you finally decide to start standing up for yourself and not taking anything from anyone, you kind of start to go to the extreme. Now all of a sudden, when a friend makes a mistake, you're quick to cut them off. You put up all these boundaries that people don't even know you have, and you just assume, well, she should know better. She should know not to say those things to me. You start to become super arrogant and super self-obsessed and all those things. Well, as I've gotten older, I'm 29, married, and a career woman, I've learned that you can have confidence, you can have good self-esteem, and you can have boundaries while also being kind, leaving space for other people, helping other people when they're down, and learning how to compromise and give people the benefit of the doubt. That is true confidence. That is being a friend. That is being adaptable. That is loving yourself without pretending to love yourself. So I'm going to tell you how to have a balance. So first, I want to talk about healing your inner child. Okay, let's start off with that. So as a child, teenager, young adult, if you were bullied at one point in your life or you had abusive parents, when you get older, you're going to want to protect that inner child. You're going to do everything possible to ensure that you are not hurt like that again. But then what ends up happening is you end up going to the extreme. But then you go to the extreme, right? When it comes down to how you present yourself in the world. And that's what I did. But how I ended up coming across was defensive, arrogant, and rude, because anyone who I thought was going to hurt me, then I become super, super defensive with them and just put up this emotional wall. So nobody wanted to be around me because I was not relatable. I was not a safe person. I was very defensive, and I would walk out of people's lives and I would think that everyone was jealous of me, that everyone was out to get me, so I ended up just making myself paranoid. But here's the thing, whether or not you have haters, whether or not your friends are fake, that doesn't matter, because what truly matters is to be in your true feminine energy is to learn to have compassion for other people. So instead of being like, oh, my friends are just jealous of me, instead think, wow, like I genuinely feel sorry for them because they probably don't see their potential because maybe they had a parent who constantly put them down as a child, so they never had a chance to get confident. So it's no longer about you and how people are treating you, but instead it's giving compassion to other people's misfortune and helping them if they are willing to accept it. Yes, you're going to have haters. Yes, you're going to get hurt by friends or your lovers, but hey, that's life. It's being okay with whatever life deals you, whether that be rejection, losing someone that you love, failure, or heartbreak. And if those things do happen to you, don't see it as like an excuse to harden yourself, but instead look at it as a life lesson. Take it from a standpoint of, even if I do get hurt, even if I do have fake friends, it's okay because I know my heart was pure. I love you despite you hating me. I'm still going to be kind and help others and love you even if it's from a distance. And by doing this, you are going to be able to grow as a person instead of having a wall up and trying to protect yourself from anything and everyone. That's just not a way to live. So knowing you tried everything to save your relationship feels much better than just cutting people off when they don't meet your standards. Next is you need friends. You need friends, you need friends, okay? I don't like being, I know this is going to sound bad, but I don't like being friends with people who don't have friends. I know that sounds bad, but here's why. There's a difference between someone who doesn't have friends and they want to have friends, but they are just in a situation where it's hard to meet people, or they just haven't found the person who they feel safe with, or a person that they feel connected with. So that's one type of person. And then you have the other side of people who don't have friends, and they have this kind of F everyone mentality. I don't need no friends, I'm fine by myself kind of mentality. The reason why I'm not friends with these people who don't have friends is because the majority of people you meet who don't have friends in this day and age are the people who feel like they are better off alone. A lot of people are taught to just have this F everyone mentality where you are alone and you're okay just being by yourself. I can't be friends with people like that because they are quick to cut you off, they don't like confrontation, and they don't put in effort into relationships with others because they're very selfish, they're very me, myself, and I. and because of this, I don't feel safe around people like that because I'm walking on eggshells, because if I do accidentally do something that they don't like, then that just leaves that, and they just want to leave the relationship and pretend that I'm dead to them, basically, and they don't even look at me or pay me any attention. I can't be friends with people like that. I can't be in a relationship where people can easily leave after small inconveniences. So that's why I need friends who are willing to fight for relationships. And if you have a history of not having friends or constantly having fallouts, then that tells me that you are the common denominator, and that's a red flag. Especially if I'm hearing that all of your old friends were the reason for the fallout. Because that basically tells me that you don't take responsibility for your part in failed relationships. So not having friends is not healthy. We are animals at the end of the day, but unlike some animals, we are social creatures. We need a pack. We need someone to talk to. Like, I remember there was a point in my life where I had no friends, and I tried to convince myself that I was okay just being by myself, which, I mean, I was. I enjoyed my own company. But after a while, whenever I would go through things, I would think, man, like, it would be nice to talk to someone right now. Like, it would be nice. It would be nice, instead of me going out to eat by myself, that I had a friend to tag along with me. So isolating yourself and cutting people off and ghosting other people is not healthy. Ghosting people and not communicating is not setting boundaries. It's avoiding confrontation. So I had to learn that even though I've had friends that didn't work out, instead of me thinking, oh, everyone's going to end up leaving me in the end, what's the point of putting energy into a relationship if they're just going to betray me 2 years later? Making friends is a waste of time. So instead of thinking that way, just think like, if they hurt me, then they hurt me. That won't change who I am as a person. I'm not going to be friends with people because I fear they will eventually leave me. Someone hurting me won't change how I choose to show up in this world. And, I'm still going to be the kind, loving, feminine woman that I am. And despite our breakup, I'm going to love you from a distance because you meant something to me at one point in my life. So stop having this, oh, you're dead to me mentality. It's going to make you hard, and you're going to be taking on masculine energy. Next is learn how to compromise and toxic productivity. So there is this, there's a lot of toxic productivity culture, specifically being aimed at women, where you are basically expected to be superwoman, wake up at 5 a.m., work out, be a career woman, make good grades, come home, eat super healthy, play with your cat while watching Love is Blind or Love Island, whatever. So, but then what ends up happening is we try to cancel everything out of our life that doesn't benefit us or fit into our routine. And a lot of times that includes not nourishing the relationships that you're in. So make time to hang out with your friends. Put aside some time from yourself and call your friends and say, hey, like, I was just thinking about you. Just call or text them. Like, be flexible. If your friend wants to hang out and you were just laying on the couch not doing anything, and you didn't really have any plans, and you didn't really feel like getting ready, you were kind of just planning on staying home, sometimes you just have to get up. Go hang out with your friends. Take them on your grocery shopping trip. Have them come to your place and lay on your bed and watch TV, and y'all can eat ice cream or popcorn. And I'm sure a lot of times they'll be happy that you did it. And your friends will be grateful that you took the time to do that. Especially if they are going through a hard time and they just need company. Because as you get older, you realize you do things that you really don't feel like doing, but you understand that by doing it, it's for a greater purpose. It's great to be productive. It's great to be productive and focus on your mental health, but also compromise. Be selfless and make room for other people. Next is being overly focused on yourself. Now, I love a woman who knows her worth. Like, I preach it all the time, to love yourself and all of these things. And, I love people that, I love a woman who loves herself and knows her worth and has confidence. And I love someone who takes care of their mental health. But I think a lot of times people get the message, but they're not truly, like, knowing what the message is, right? Because I think we have taken this whole "I'm protecting my peace" to the extreme, to the point where we start to believe that everyone around us is the problem and we are the victim in the situation. It takes a lot of guts to say, I played a part in this friendship not working out because I didn't communicate what I needed, so I started to build resentment. I did not tell my friends, hey, I feel like I'm always the one reaching out and inviting you out. I'd love for you to take the initiative in inviting me out sometimes. But instead, we just brush over it and then quiet quit those relationships. The thing is, you are only focusing on yourself, and you are looking at it from the point of view that this person is intentionally trying to hurt me, or they intentionally not putting in effort into our relationship. When it could just be that they show love in a different way. They show up to friendships in a different way. So, for example, like, I take forever to text back, and a friend who does like to text might take that as me not putting in effort and will think that I don't care about them. When in reality, I would just rather physically hang out with you in person than text all day. Like, if we hang out twice a month, that's enough for me. We don't need to text every day. However, I will compromise with my friends if texting and communication is important to them. Say, hey, like, I work between this time and this time, so, my text to you might be sparse when I'm busy, but hey, I'll voice chat you or I'll text you every day when I'm off work. So you just need to be open to compromise and do things that is not preferred. That's growth. So when you sit back and give people the benefit of the doubt and communicate what you need in a respectful and non-defensive way, then you will know, like, hey, it's not that they don't value you, it's just you have two different ways of showing up in a relationship. Now, if you know you played your part and you try to communicate to them and let them know, and they get defensive or upset with you, or they start gaslighting you, then that's when you know it's time to end that relationship, because that person still has some growth to work on. But if you truly care about a person, if you truly want to keep that friendship, take yourself out of the equation, be vulnerable, fight for the relationship, and help that friend to be a better person. Not in a way where you're holding their hands or being their teacher, but if you notice something about them that they can improve on, help them out. Let them know in a respectful way, like, hey, I'm noticing this about you, I'm concerned, why are you behaving this way? Because some people just don't know how they come across. Some people, like, they really don't know. So next is being overly confident is overcompensating. So I remember there was a point in my life where I was overly confident and it was all for show. It was all about me. I'm so pretty. I'm so great. I'm so this. I'm so that. It was all fake. It was all fake. It was all for the people out in the audience. But deep down inside, I was not confident. I would go throughout my day with my head up and with my defensive armor. And here's the thing. Nobody likes a person who is all about me. Nobody wants to be around someone who only cares about themselves and how they feel. And someone who is quick to ghost and cut people off. Because here's the thing. Everyone in this society is only focused on themselves. But if you truly want to attract people and make friends and do good in your career, you need to start learning how to focus on other people instead of yourself. That's what's gonna help you stand out from the crowd. Because nobody wants to be around someone who only cares about themselves and how they feel, and someone who is quick to ghost and cut people off. Why? Because you're not a safe person. You're not a safe person. People want to be around other people who make them feel good and who they know are going to stay in their lives. People want to be around people who they know are going to fight for a relationship. Someone who cares about what it is that they have to say. People love to talk about themselves. Like, if you give people the opportunity, they'll talk about themselves, like, all day long, and they'll in making them feel heard and understood and cared for, and appreciated. Like, I feel like that's lacking because everyone's just so focused on themselves instead of giving to other people. Learn how to be more compassionate for others instead of putting on this ruthless, selfless, heartless facade. So you can't go through life with this IDGAF personality all throughout your life, because that's just going to end up leaving you friendless, jobless, no romantic relationships if that's what you want, and lonely. So stop listening to these people who just say, oh, cut people off, only care about yourself, because they are coming from an unhealed place with little to no life experiences. It's easy to put up a wall and push everyone out, but it takes strength, courage, and confidence to put that wall down, be vulnerable, and to love everyone despite not receiving that love in return, and yet still not letting it harden you. That's true growth. Anyways, thank you so much, Diamond Girls, for coming back to my channel. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and with love.